Are you worried about your memory? Feeling a bit groggy lately? Well, there might be a sneaky culprit lurking in your kitchen, and it's part of a $200 billion industry. This common ingredient has invaded our diets over the last century, and it could be contributing to declining IQ scores across America. But don't panic. As your trusted health advocate and vitality specialist, I'm here with solutions. In this video, we'll expose this brain-shrinking ingredient and explore simple, delicious alternatives that can help protect your cognitive function. Ready to reclaim your brain power? Let's get started. Now, we all know that what we eat affects our bodies, right? But here's the kicker. It's not just about how we look or feel physically. The food we eat can actually impact our brain function. Yeah, you heard that right. And I'm about to show you one of the common ingredients that's been sneaking into our diets over the past century that's linked to cognitive decline. It's crazy to think that something so ordinary could be messing with our minds, isn't it? Let me take you on a little journey. Picture this. It's the early 1900s. People are cooking with good old-fashioned butter and lard. Then boom, along comes this new oil that's cheap to produce and has a long shelf life. Food companies start adding it to everything, and I mean everything, from your morning cereal to your favorite salad dressing. This stuff is everywhere. Now you might be wondering, how did this happen? Well, it started with a Polish farmer who came to Canada with a special plant. The seeds from this plant produced an oil that was great for lubricating machinery. Canada produced tons of this stuff to grease up ship engines during World War II. But then after the war, they had all these plants and no use for the oil. So some bright spark thought, hey, why don't we sell this as cooking oil? And just like that, a $200 billion industry was born. Can you believe it? Something that was never meant for human consumption became a staple in our diets. It's like we started eating motor oil because we had too much of it laying around. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but you get the idea. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's just oil, right? How could it be that bad? Well, here's where things get really interesting. Dr. Michael Crawford, director of the Institute of Brain Chemistry and Human Nutrition, suggests that this specific type of fat from seed oils might be contributing to declining IQ scores. Yeah, you heard that right. IQ scores are actually declining for the first time in recorded history. It's not just about being a little forgetful or having those "where did I put my keys" moments. We're talking about a significant shift in cognitive function across entire populations. And it all seems to be linked to this one ingredient that's hiding in plain sight in our kitchens. But don't panic just yet. As your trusted health advocate and vitality specialist, I'm here to tell you that knowledge is power. Now that we know what we're dealing with, we can start making changes. In the next part of our video, we're going to dive deeper into exactly what this brain-shrinking ingredient is and how it's affecting us. Let's dive deeper into the processing of the seed oils and the impacts on our health. The extraction process is complex and involves several steps that strip away beneficial nutrients. To start, the seeds undergo high-pressure extraction to force out the oil. Then comes a 70-minute wash with solvents like sodium hydroxide. After that, believe it or not, they bleach it. Yes, like what you use to clean your bathroom. Finally, steam injection heating removes any of the remaining odors. Now, I'm no chemist, but I can tell you that this intense processing does a number on the oil. It removes the most beneficial compounds like vitamin E and carotenoids, things that our body actually need. But here's where it gets really interesting, folks. Some studies have shown that this refining process can create trans fats. You know, those things we're told to avoid because they're linked to heart disease and cancer. And get this, A 2017 study found that increasing levels of this oil in the diet led to memory problems and cognitive decline in animals. Now, we're not animals, but our brains aren't that different from when it comes to how they react to what we eat. As Dr. Catherine Shanahan, a renowned nutrition expert, once said, "The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison." When it comes to these highly processed seed oils, we might be leaning towards the latter. So, we've got an industrial product that's been repurposed for our plates, stripped of nutrients, and potentially loaded with harmful elements. And now we're seeing a decline in IQ scores for the first time in recorded history. Coincidence? Maybe, but it's definitely food for thought. Don't worry though, we're not done yet. Up next, we're going to look at just how much of this stuff we are actually consuming. And trust me, the numbers might surprise you. Stay tuned because knowledge is power and we're about to get a whole lot more powerful. All right, let's talk numbers. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in our diets has skyrocketed. Ideally, we should be getting these essential fats in a ratio of about 1:1, which is how our ancestors ate for thousands of years. But today, the average American diet has a ratio of as high as 20:1. We're consuming up to 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3. This imbalance is largely due to the prevalence of seed oils in our food supply. From morning cereal to favorite snacks, these oils have become ubiquitous in processed foods. A study from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that diets high in omega-6 fatty acids can lead to various health problems, including obesity, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's. It's not just affecting adults either. A mother's diet can change the composition of her breast milk, potentially impacting her baby's brain development. Now, you might be thinking, I've been eating this way my whole life. How bad could it really be? Well, here's a startling fact. The amount of linoleic acid, the main omega-6 fat in seed oils, in our body has nearly doubled since 1960, going from about 10% to about 20% in just 45 years. What does this mean for our brains? Research suggests that this omega imbalance could be contributing to inflammation in our bodies, including our brains, and chronic inflammation. That's bad news for our cognitive function. Here's another shocker. The average American is getting about 720 calories a day from these highly processed seed oils. That's more than a third of the total calories for some people. But don't worry, we're not done yet. Coming up, we'll look at some simple swaps you can make to start balancing out those omegas. Because remember, knowledge is power, and we're about to get even more powerful. Let's talk about some simple swaps you can make to boost your brain health. These changes are easier than you might think, and they start right in your kitchen. First up, let's tackle seed oils. They're common, but there are healthier alternatives. Extra virgin olive oil is a great choice for brain health. A study with elderly patients found that olive oil was significantly better for cognitive function compared to canola oil. It also helps lower blood pressure and reduce inflammation. Avocado oil is another excellent option. It's rich in beneficial fats that can handle high temperature cooking. Coconut oil, despite its reputation for high saturated fat content, contains lauric acid that can increase the levels of good cholesterol in your blood. For a more adventurous option, try flaxseed oil. It's packed with plant-based omega-3s and has strong anti-inflammatory properties. Just remember, it's best used on dressings or drizzled over food after cooking, not for cooking itself. Now, here's where it gets interesting, vitality enthusiasts. Studies have shown that eating more omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, can improve cognitive function, attention, learning, and memory. You can find these in fatty fish, walnuts, and flax seeds. Making these changes is all about small steps. Start by reading labels. You'd be surprised at how many products contain seed oils. Choose whole foods when you can, and when buying packaged foods, look for ones that use healthier oils. Cooking at home gives you full control over what goes into your food. Try sauteing veggies in olive oil instead of vegetable oil, or use avocado oil for your stir fries. These small changes can add up to big, huge benefits for your brain. Some studies have even shown that supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids can lead to improvements in cognitive function and memory, with potential benefits for both kids and adults. It's like giving your brain a tune-up. Remember, it's never too late to start taking care of your brain. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, and with the right nutrients, we can support our cognitive health at any age. Remember that quote from earlier? The food you eat is either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. So are you ready to make some brain-boosting changes in your diet? All right, let's wrap it up. We've covered some eye-popping stuff about what's in our kitchens today. But here's the good news. Our brains are incredibly adaptable. They're always ready to benefit from positive changes when we give them a chance. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're grocery shopping, take a moment to really look at those labels. Consider swapping out that vegetable oil for some extra virgin olive oil, or throw some walnuts in your cart for a brain-boosting snack. These small changes can make a big difference for your cognitive health. Remember, you have the power to influence your brain health. Every meal is a chance to nourish your mind. Let's take those opportunities and make them count, shall we? So your future self will thank you for it. Stay curious and keep feeding that brain of yours.